Welcome to shop, everybody. I've been giving a few people some updates on my dust collection system upgrade over the last few months, but thought it might be good to do an overall overview video of the upgrade of the system and let everybody know what I've been up to. So initially started with this King 2 horsepower dust collector back here. They claim you should be able to get to the normal rating of the unit is 1200 CFM. But what I was finding, the separation in that bottom chamber there, very ineffective, and all of the dust would just go up into the canister and plug it. So it doesn't take very long at all before you're getting very little suction. So one of the main parts of this dust collection upgrade was to make it a two-stage. So I added a Oneida Super Dust Deputy filter or cyclone to the system, but knowing that was going to, it's added pressure drop, we're going to lose capacity of the system a bit, so I tried to optimize things as best I could. So one thing I did is I minimized a piece of short hose in between here, and so pretty much a direct connection from the dust collector to the cartridge filter assembly. Wasn't thinking that the bag on the bottom was very effective, so I did change that to a pail and a little bit easier to remove and get off, and also with the idea that the dust deputy should be removing 99% plus of any of the sawdust coming through. Should be very little getting through. So that was part of the upgrade here. Got the dust collector mounted to the wall, and so that's the two-stage part. You know, it's only a pretty small barrel at the bottom that came with the Super Dust Deputy. I mean, I don't do that much woodworking. That might be fine for now, but I can see that being a problem if I do much work on the joiner or the planer. But that's what we got for now. May want to add some bin level detection to that, because I did just fill it up recently, and I think I just caught it on time. But I should have some sort of a full signal notification of that bin being full. The biggest part of the upgrade to the system was the ductwork. I mean, with a little bit of pressure loss from the cyclone, I wanted to optimize the rest of the system to maintain flow especially to the larger tools. I was targeting getting 800 CFM to the table saw. I mean, that's generally kind of the rule of thumb for dust collection, is to get 800 CFM to the table saw, and with roughly 400 CFM going to the bottom, to the cabinet, and 400 CFM for the overarm dust collector. And this one is I have one of my great additions to the shop recently is my General made in Canada 350 cabinet saw, and this overarm dust collector might look familiar. I think SawStop had bought that exact design from General International or Excalibur before they went out of business, or limited business now. But I think you'll see that identical overarm dust collector on the SawStop saws now. So the goal here was to get 800 CFM to the table saw, and my other tools being running a smaller 6-inch joiner or the planer or any other tools, 400 or 500 CFM is going to be fine through a 4-inch hose, but wanted to optimize the airflow to the table saw. So what I wanted to hard pipe the dust collection system, but can't really justify a high-end metal system. I'd literally spend thousands of dollars on a full metal flanged clamp system. So found this system online, worth checking out, dustdog.org, and he has come up with a very clever system for dust collection fittings. You get to choose whether you want to use Schedule 40 pipe, or I'm using SDR 35 sewer pipe, or whether you want to use spiral. His system adapts to those, so you can use whatever type of piping system you want that's cost effective. And then you can 3D print all of your fittings and clamps. And I've spent a lot of time printing fittings. I mean, coming off of the dust collector here is I'm running full 5-inch, and that's a 5x4Y, and another 5x4 there, and a 5-inch elbow. They get a print in 2 pieces, and then a 5x4 splitter there. And as you look around here, I'll give you a little bit more of a tour later, but a lot of pipe and fittings, and I literally was printing here for not days, not weeks, but like likely a month or two, and I think I've gone through at least 12 or 13 kilograms of filament. But very neat system. I don't know whether I would print it all again myself. You can go to dustdog.org and you can order these fittings and clamps and gaskets and buy it from him. And likely a good idea, because I spent so much friggin' time printing here. But really, really neat system. I mean, these are you 3D print all the parts to these clamps, and you buy a little bit of hardware. You 3D print the gasket, a TPU material on the gasket, and the connections on the pipe, for adapters for connecting to the clamp. So whatever you're using, whether it's Schedule 4 to your SDR35 or spiral, you can print these adapters here. I designed my own pipe clamps, and here's an example of an elbow here. So all nice long sweep elbows, good for minimizing pressure drop in the system. So the main goal, as I mentioned, was to try to maintain 800 CFM, roughly 800 CFM to the table saw, and I think we were able to achieve that I was initially connecting all of these tools together with long pieces of flexos. And with those pieces of flexos, I mean, that's fine. You run those around the shop and you connect. But by hard piping, I was surprised how much pressure drop there was in those hoses. But then now that I've hard piped to just this little piece here, as I come down and hard pipe to the table saw and the overarm dust collector arm, let's go back to my piece of paper over here. Let's see what we had here. We had about 666 CFM before, with just running the flex hose, and I was able to get that flow up to 788 CFM, so almost hit my 800, and maybe not quite CFM, but I had an 18.3% increase in flow just by hard piping these just this less than 10 feet of ducting to the table saw versus a flex hose. So that goal was achieved. So pretty happy about that. And then for my tools, running it to a planer or a jointer, have lots of flow for that. A couple of the neat things in the system here as well are the Dust Dog has a design for blast gate. So this is just a simple blast gate there. Neat design, has some pretty easy, pretty space conscious there. Another design of for a blast gate is a ball valve. So that's another one, a design that I had purchased that design to print that ball valve, and I do have one over here. So it's literally a ball valve, and 3D printed the parts and even with the little signs on top for open close. So really neat design for those. Another neat part of the system is I did connect most of the tools with magnetic connectors here. So 4-inch hose, and I can just very easily connect that here, or I have a hose here for cleanup, and I can take that hose and connect it onto here, and I'm connected, and for a little shop cleanup with a larger 4-inch hose. So that was a neat thing to have, and I I custom printed an adapter to go from the connection that was on the DeWalt planer to a magnetic connection, so I can take this and move this around and put a longer hose on it if I want to locate the planer somewhere else. So I did run a hose across the shop here, and so right above my workbench I have a gate and an outlet or inlet there. So that's handy to have that right above the workbench. And then one last dust collection spot that I added was for my drill press. This is my general drill press, nice find as well. The Model 340 general drill press, nice find. But I added especially if you're doing any large cutting and drilling, it certainly creates a lot of dust shavings. And this Loctite hose is a really neat addition to have for dust collection on a drill press. So you can pretty much hold that in any position to get as close as I need, and very effective at picking up chips when drilling, especially using large Forstner bits. And I also have that connected on a couple of magnetic connections down there, so I can remove that, move the drill press and move that to a different location. So very helpful. I was trying to figure out whether I'm better off putting that on a shop vac. Shop vac has much higher pressure, much higher static pressure compared to a dust collector, which has very little static but high flow. So I did run a test between having a shop vac hooked up to that and the dust collector, but I have a rigid shop vac here with a dust stopper. The dust stopper works fine, but a lot of pressure drop and a lot of flow through the dust stopper. So I really need to find maybe a different system for that. But running that Loctite hose from the drill press through the dust stopper, I wasn't getting more than 106, 107 CFM. When I connected that Loctite hose directly onto the shop vac without the dust stopper, I was able to get to around 180 CFM. But the arrangement as you see it with the off the dust collector and the 4-inch hose, I get 288 CFM. So much higher air volumes and exhaust using the dust collector. So that was an interesting test to run. For my airflow measurements, I'm using a rotating vane anemometer that I borrowed from the office. Real neat thing about this one is that compared to most that you see online, it might have a 2-inch head, but this one has a 4-inch head. So I can put that on the end of a 4-inch pipe and easily measure the flow without needing to worry about where I'm sitting in front of the, let's say a 2-inch in front of a 4-inch opening, but this is a 4-inch rotating vane anemometer that I can put right in front of a 4-inch pipe, and I'm pretty confident in the airflow measurements I'm getting, so that is pretty helpful to have. So that's kind of the gist of it. Pretty big update to the shop, but really happy with the Dust Dog piping fitting system that I have installed here in the shop, and happy with the 2-stage upgrade to the dust collector. Nothing, the dust collector itself is nothing to write home about, not that great, but with a few additions, I think I'm able to get the flow I need for the tools that I have in the shop. And maybe someday that'll get upgraded, but I think it's fine for now. So that's the update from the shop for tonight, and on the dust collection upgrade that I've been working on over the last few months. That's it. Thanks, everybody. Bye.